What is up, YouTube? It is Special K 75 here today. We're playing Sakura Bunny Girls, part number 6. Alright, here we go. I'll be damned, Yuri. You were literally the last person I thought I'd be seeing tonight. On our side, at least, especially since it was quite the opposite yesterday. As I told you, I was simply doing my job yesterday. I have nothing personal against you or your crew, Yuka. Well, I'm happy it's like that because you helped me buy time. If it hadn't been for you, this would have been a bloodbath. Say, are you for hire? You keep showing me that I need your services. Yuka chuckles as she taps my shoulder, triggering me to chuckle with her briefly. I like my current job, Yuka. I'm afraid I'll have to pass that offer once more. I'm not actually joining my crew, Yuri. This time I want you to hire you for real. I'm even going to pay you with actual money. Name the price and I'll handle you the bills personally. Upon hearing Yuka's proposal, can't help but frown. Do my best job to work out if she's kidding me or not. Is this a serious offer, Yuka? Oh yeah, this is a serious offer, Yuri. It couldn't possibly be any more serious. And what would you need me for exactly? You can defend yourself and your people just fine. Well, it's more complicated than that. I believe we should discuss this in my office. There's a lot of details we've gotta tackle. Yuka winks at me teasily before she gestures me to follow her to her office, probably being the improvised bedroom she built here. She must have something important in mind if she's taking so many precautions. Locking the door behind her, Yuka takes a seat on her bed, tapping the mattress for me to join her. It's been a fantastic night, frenetic night. I could use some rest, even if it's only a few minutes. I didn't want to tell you this in front of my people, but we really need Yuri, quite desperately after this attack. Those bastards were ruthless, way worse than the common banker. I believe they belong to a company, a big one, judging by their gear. And needless to say, they intend to wipe us off the map. And that's where I come in, don't I? You need me to find out who they are. Exactly. I'll do it myself, but I gotta keep this place safe from that scum. Yuka gnashes her teeth angrily, wishing she could leave in ruins whoever attacked them so viciously. I guess I could investigate a little bit. Do you have any hints or clues, Yuka? Only a sneaking suspicion, if it serves you, Yuri. It's better than nothing, so let's hear it. As you witnessed yourself, those bastards were merciless and extremely aggressive, carrying equipment that street gangs can only dream of owning. So my take is that Satomi's company is behind all this. Satomi's company? Do you truly believe that? I mean, it reeks of them. Who else would send trigger-happy punks to a warehouse full of defenseless people? I'm not going to admit it out loud, but Yuka has a point. Satomi's company appears to be quite uncaring when it comes to dealing with others. However, there's something off about Yuka's theory. If that's true, why wasn't Satomi storming your hideouts as well, Yuka? I have no clue, man. Though they said a few times that I was supposed to be around. They were definitely taking advantage of that I got hurt yesterday to kick us out. That perhaps why they didn't send Satomi. They believed that their hitman would be enough. The assholes got another thing coming. Yuka grins at me with pride, satisfied with herself for having defeated the attackers so decisively. If they belong to Satomi's company, they'll definitely send her next time they committed a terrible mistake in underestimating Yuka. Anyways, will you all finally accept the job, Yuri? I'd go ask Satomi myself if I knew where she lived, but knowing me, I'd probably just slap her face too. I hate how she's always evolving one way or another when something bad happens in the neighborhood. Yuka stares at me expectantly, her expression filling with rage the more we talk about her rival. Before I accept her job offer, I think I should ask Yuka some more questions. This could turn out to be a long job. I mean, you've mentioned it several times, but what will be my objective exactly? I want to know that before I make up my mind. Your objective will be very simple, Yuri. Finding out who raided our hideout and telling me afterwards. I don't want you to fight them or report to the police. I'll decide what to do with them, personally. If you only want names to point fingers at, could you ask someone from your gang to snoop around? I'm a security guard, not an investigator. My gang made of regular citizens, Yuri. That company would crush them instantly if they heard they're asking questions. You, on the other hand, knowing what you're doing, and if they were to send any goons, you'd be able to beat them up without breaking a sweat. And if you say that you're a security guard, you only need to wear a fedora to become a proper detective. Like in the movies, you know? Yuka laughs at her humorous comment, stealing a chuckle from me in the process. From Yakuza chairman to Nord detective. What a promotion. That's about the payment. I don't want to come off as greedy, but how are you going to pay me, Yuka? With real money, right? Damn straight, you know, you just named the price, and I'll pay you with my own money. I've been saving these years in case my people needed it. But since we need you, those savings will be yours. So don't worry about it, Yuri. You won't be working for free. You're not a charity. Shit, I don't think I can name a price, so you choose an amount, Yuka. I don't want to leave your people without anything. Whoa, no way, that's really kind of you, Yuri. However, I'm assure you that it'll be worth your time. You'll be doing us a huge favor, and your paycheck will reflect how grateful we are. Delighted with the generosity, Yuka taps my shoulder, beaming at me widely. Even if it helps, I wouldn't accept her job only because of the money. There are more things involved, like the impact it'll have on the others, and whenever it'll be positive or negative. So far, this offer sounds promising. If I were to accept your job and complete it successfully, what would you do, Yuka? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Burning their headquarters to the ground sounds appealing, but I'd probably ask my people first. We'd have to decide how to strike back, because we're definitely striking back. Those assholes have to pay for what they did tonight, and they're going to be paying in spades. I mean, vengeance is dangerous. I relate to how you feel, Yuka, but vengeance is a dangerous thing. You should think it over thoroughly if it's worth risking your life and your people to make them suffer. What are you suggesting, Yuri? To let them get away scot-free as they kill my crew? Absolutely not. They deserve to pay, but not with violence. I'm sure that we could come with a better punishment. Unsure about what I said, Yuka tilts her head, grabbing her chin in thoughts. And after a short while, she nods faintly, agreeing with me reluctantly. Alright then, I'll spare them with just this once. But if they raid us once more, I'll promise you I'll turn them to ashes. That sounds fair to me. However, after tonight, they'll think twice before picking on you. That was a valuable lesson they learned. Is everything clear, Yuri? Or do you have more questions about this job? I think I've heard enough about it, Yuka. So, will you accept? I'll accept on the condition that I can pause and postpone your mission in case my employer asks me to participate in an operation. As you can imagine, my actual job has priority. That goes without saying, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Other than that, thank you lots. Can't wait to know who it has that dared to come here and harass my people. And if it turns out to be Satomi, as I said, I'm gonna whip her ass so much that it's going to stay red for the rest of her life. Ugh. It's like at that point you might as well just let it be fucking bloody at that point. But that's crazy. Yuka cracks her knuckles noisily, her sadistic face proving that she's ready to give Satomi some ass whooping. Satomi better be unrelated for her own good. Well, now that we struck our agreement, I think I'm gonna catch some rest, Yuri. Silver recovered some completely from yesterday's fight. Satomi sure knows how to punch. You can spend the night here if you want, by the way. It's pretty late and I don't want those idiots to ambush you or something. Thanks for your hospitality, but I prefer to sleep at my apartment, Yuka. I barely spent 3 days in the city and I haven't slept even once there. Oh my, aren't you a womanizer? But you didn't have to rub it in my face, you know. Yuka's remark triggers my cheeks to flush. My reactions making her dissolve into laughter. I was only kidding, man. Like, I bet you've had very busy nights with work and whatnot. Yes, that's been the case, Yuka. Tonight's my first free night, actually. Use it to sleep a lot, then you'll need all that rest to track Satomi down and interrogate her. And I had a hunch that doing that won't be easy. She's a slippery snake. I nod at Yuka before I spring to my feet and head towards the exit, hiding the fact that I know where Satomi is firsthand and with a reserved goodbye. If she's found out that I'm way closer to arrival than what she thinks I am, she'd use her watery whips against me with way worse consequences than having a red butt. And that's something I want to avoid. What's that face? Despite having gone to sleep awfully late, I woke up as early as yesterday, the sun rising shyly in the distant horizon, and as I walked down the road towards Satomi's apartment complex, I don't remember the exact street, though taking into account that she lives at the top of the city's tallest skyscraper, the lack of this information won't be a problem. The story building isn't what could be called inconspicuous. I hope I'm not too late, otherwise I'll have to try again at night. So crossing my fingers to get lucky, I ring the doorbell. The intercom booted up after producing a sharp beep. This is a private residence. We're not interested in receiving commercial mail. Thank you. Wait, what? I'm not the mailman. It's me, Yuri. I had breakfast with Ayako and you yesterday. Shh, my mistress hasn't left to work, and I wouldn't want that piece of information to be revealed. I appreciate your discretion, sure. Oh, so Satomi's home? That's really good. If possible, I'd like to chat with her. It's very important. I'll let her know. Please wait. The intercom goes silent after Aki conveys her message. The entrance door unlocked after several seconds pass by. My mistress is willing to talk with you, but only briefly. She has more pressing matters to attend to. Yes, I understand. Thank you. The entry phone turns off as I come into the building, moving to the elevator afterwards. The last floor, here we go. It's that time. Aki and Ayako welcome me with a polite bow as I enter the apartment. Satomi having a breakfast at the same time in the place she did yesterday. Given how demanding her work is, I consider myself fortunate for having been able to meet her. Now, this is quite a surprise, Yuri. I didn't think I'd see you again so soon. Tell me, what brings you to my place? I assume you didn't visit me just to spend the time as friends. I wish I could say that, Satomi, but no. I'm here because I need to ask you some questions. So, that's why this meeting was so important for you? To be honest, I was hoping for a different reason. A job offer, perhaps. I'm still looking forward to working with you once more. Satomi smirks at me before she sips from her cup, gesturing to me to sit down in front of her. I do as she says, triggering Aki and Ayako to fetch a cup for me and filling it with freshly brewed coffee. Alright, Yuri, I'm all ears. Feel free to ask me whatever you need to know. However, depending on the nature of your questions, you might receive a nuanced answer or no answer at all. That's fine, Satomi. I don't want to get you in trouble with your employer. I mean, I won't mind if you keep some details secret. So in the end, we'll be talking about work. Interesting. You really are spicing this morning up. Giggling at her comment, Satomi entwines her fingers, resting her head on top of them as a way to show me I have her full attention. As I expected, she's being pretty teasy, though she might get more serious after I ask her my questions. I believe I should be tactful, but to avoid upsetting her, but being blunt might prove to be more useful or the investigation. Maybe so. Gotta be blunt with this stuff. Did your corporation attack Yuka yesterday night, Satomi? That's an awfully specific query, Yuri, and very forthright too. Forthright. It's like saying Fortnite, but Fortnite, what the heck? But that aside, no, my company doesn't have anything to do with that attack. From what I know, at least. Now, may I question the interrogator back and ask why you believe it was my company? Very heavily armed people raided Yuka's hideout. They had guns and were going to use them against defenseless neighbors. Yuka suggests that your corporation could use such tactics. Instead of getting angry as I imagined, she would. Satomi chuckles faintly, mockingly shaking her head afterwards. The people I work for have almost non-existent principles, yes. And even if that sounds like something they do, I had to insist they didn't participate in that assault. Are you sure, Satomi? They were going to kill innocent people. This is a big deal. I'm sure, Yuri. Why would I lie to you anyway? We're friends. Or something close to that, I reckon. Satomi keeps up her impish behavior, the tone she's used to answer me being serious enough to be believable. If I was Satomi's company, who was it? I'll have to take this investigation elsewhere. However, as I'm going to get up from my chair, Satomi shakes her head, making me stay put. I'd be extremely thankful if you tell me more about the attack, Yuri. I never heard of any street gang or company being so ruthless before, and in my opinion, that's very unsettling. There's nothing else I can say, I'm afraid. They broke to Yuka's hideout, threatened them to leave by pointing their guns at them, and almost decimated Yuka's crew. I meddled in to avoid that, and Yuka took care of everyone else with her powers. Everyone's safe for now. Curious? Very curious, indeed. Trying to piece this information together, Satomi raised her head in thought, staring at the ceiling as if the solution was there. I have one last question for you. After that, I'll let you continue getting to the bottom of this issue. Ironically, you ended up asking more than me, Satomi, but sure, go ahead. I was simply wondering why this whole assault thing is so important to you, Yuri. I thought that you only care about your security job, so this is quite baffling for me. Are you a private investigator now? Perhaps that make me split my sides. In a way, Yuka's paying me to discover who stormed her base, so this is nothing personal if that's what you thought. Make no sense though, as my employer orders me to take part in an operation, I'll set this research aside. I see. At least you're not doing it for free. But please, if you want to interrogate someone properly, you should put on a trench coat. Look like a detective is more important than you think. Satomi winks at me playfully, this time allowing me to get up. A fedora and now a trench coat. Will I have to start smoking a pipe as well? Or even crack or weed? I'm just messing around. Thank you very much for your honesty, Satomi. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Yuri. However, the next time we meet, I hope you'll have friendlier intentions in mind. You didn't even have the taste of the coffee Aki and Ayako offered you. That's very rude. Oh, you're right. I got carried away. I'll have to do something to make up for it. Good. I'm sure you'll find a perfect solution, one that involves a delicious dinner, maybe. Probably I'll give it some thought. I share a knowing smile with Satomi, Aki, and Ayako, rushing to the entrance door and opening it before her mistress reaches it. I'll be called to work early again today, Yuri. There's not a dull moment when you're part of a big corporation, don't you agree? Yeah, though I wish there was some of those from time to time. So many frantic jobs end up getting under your skin. That's very true, but sadly, I must ensure that the wheels of the enterprise keep spinning, otherwise the deadliest won't be met. And that'd be a catastrophe. I imagine not meeting just one. Yikes. Picking up Satomi's scoffing tone, I reply with a chuckle, prompting her to let out a brief giggle as well. Not all in this life is work, and she knows that very well. Alright, I'll be on my way, Yuri. Feel free to stay for a while longer if you wish to. You've got a cup of coffee too empty. Unless you want Aki and Ayako to take care of it, of course. Though, knowing them as I do, I appreciate someone else's company. I'm in no rush, so I think I'll chat with them for a while. Coffee is something meant to be enjoyed with someone else. Even more so if it's a cat thing? Absolutely. Satomi winks at me teasingly before she closes the door, leaving me at her place with Aki and Ayako once more. Aki is somewhat unamused, whereas Ayako can't stop grinning with delight. Thank you very much for having breakfast with us again, sir. It's sure fun spending time with someone different for a change. Hush. What's the matter? It's true. Still, that's something you're not supposed to say out loud. But our mistress is not around. There's no harm done. In fact, I meant it as a compliment. That's no excuse, Ayako. It's very unprofessional to claim such things. Aki glares at Ayako intently as they start squabbling, the way they talk to each other for others, stealing a peal of laughter from me as I approach a steaming coffee they prepared for me. I have a hunch that these two bickers all day long when Satomi isn't around. Don't worry, Aki. It's fine if Ayako wants to speak her mind like that. And it goes without saying, but I won't tell Satomi that whatever you'll be shared with me. See, he's cool with it. You're just too fussy. Fussy, unlike you, I'm doing my job. Hey, let's calm down, shall we? So sit back, relax, and have breakfast with me. There's a ton of food I want to watch you enjoy. Understood. Not hesitating the slightest, Ayako takes a seat in front of me, Aki moving behind her quite reluctantly. Like the last time, she won't have a single bite, but at least she'll accompany us. Aki's about to see the red this question, but I could stop calling you sir. I believe we're close enough to use your actual name. Ayako? You couldn't possibly... Yes, that's perfectly fine, Ayako. You can start calling me Yori. Thank you lots, Yori. It's becoming super awkward for me to keep using sir. We're pretty much friends, aren't we? Sort of, yeah. Pleased with my response, Ayako grins at me as she begins to tuck away the food she prepared for Satomi, hardly touched by her since she had to leave extremely early. I wonder what keeps that girl going. Well, since we're close friends, or pretty close to being friends, I can ask, what was all that about, Yori? I think I overheard the word attack. It must have been a huge deal. That attack was intense, yeah, but nothing I couldn't handle. No matter how expensive or deadly your equipment is, what matters is who uses it and how. They weren't that good, so we can repel them rather quickly. You don't send the sheep to take down the wolves. We? Are you talking about Yuka? Hearing that from Ayako's lips forces me to put the mug down, my expression reflecting my perplexity. Do you know her, Ayako? No, not personally, no. I haven't even seen her, and I doubt I'll ever do, but it's a good thing to take into account what our mistress said to offer of her. They have a past of full fighting and conflict. A past? Have they fought that much? Much more than you think, especially when the company our mistress works for was in... That's it, Ayako. You're exceeding yourself now. You can't disclose this sensitive information like that. Even if our mistress finds out, she'll fire both of us and ensure that we never find any job in the city. Upset with Ayako, Aki butts in the conversation, finishing it with an extremely stern voice. This topic is awful. It's understandable, taking into account the nature of Satomi's job. I'm sorry for asking you, Aki. Confidential details should remain confidential. That said, I believe I should leave. Yuka needs to know it hasn't been Satomi, or else we'll have to add another fight to their list. So early. There's a ton of food left, and the coffee machine is virtually full. Can't you stay for a while longer? I'm afraid not, Ayako, but I promise I'll return. Maybe even invite you to dinner, I also told me. That'd be awesome. I'm holding on to that. Refused to say a half word. Aki darts to the entrance door and swings it open, almost inviting me to making myself scarce. I can't imagine. My presence don't exactly make her job any easier. It's been great sharing breakfast with you girls. Take care and see you soon, at night, probably. I'm looking forward to it, Yori. I'll wait for your return with bated breath, sir. Hopefully a certain someone will comprehend what her limits are then. Yeah, I don't think that'll be happening, Aki. Believing her ears, Aki frowns at Ayako, her unfamiliar face triggering Ayako to dissolve into laughter. I can't help but chuckle as well, bidding them goodbye as I direct my steps towards the elevator. This is wishful thinking since Satomi's incredibly busy, and Aki's too professional that. But it'd be great to have dinner or even breakfast with the four of us one morning. How much fun would that be? I wonder. A couple of minutes take me to what I'm going to start calling the main road, its usual stream of cars and busy people dashing by constantly. It's early in the morning during a workday like any other. This frenetic pedestrian activity further proof of that. Strangely, even if that's the case, my employer hasn't contacted me yet. Management either prospected my days off or there are no major operations that need my attention. Whatever the case is, I have an official job on my hands that needs to be updated. Recognizing me instantly, Yuka's crew grants me passage to their hideout. The entrance more guarded than the day she gave me a tour. Well, that's like a nice view down there underground. It's like some underground like highway passage. You got the highway above, you got this down here. It's like something like that. No wonder after what happened last night. Yuri? Back so soon, I wasn't expecting results this quickly. But I guess it wasn't that hard for you to complete your mission. Especially since it's kind of obvious that Satomi's company is responsible for all that crap. Because it was them, right? I've managed to talk to Satomi directly and she assured me that they had nothing to do. I'm afraid to say, but someone else attacked you, Yuka. Yuka scratched her head, stunned to hear her supposition was wrong. What the? You talked to her and since she said no? Yeah, and she insisted a lot. That's why she wasn't participating in the raid herself. I don't know about that, Yuri. I don't trust her one damn bit. So she probably made up some BS for you to believe her. If I were you, I'd investigate her further. Despite my conclusion, Yuka sticks her initial explanation probably be to shake my head forcibly. She told me the truth. Yuka was out. I was looking directly in the eyes. I would have noticed if she tried to deceive me with some fabrication. As shocking as it is for you, Satomi, company isn't guilty. However, if you don't trust my judgment, you can break our contract and interrogate Satomi yourself. There's no need to get that drastic, Yuri. It's just that I don't know. I was kind of hoping that it'd be them. It'd be each solution, you know. I want to do something about those bastards already, because I can't shake them off the fact that they've broken here so roughly. As Yuka comments this, she grits her teeth. Fury still dominate her emotions. I'll track down the real culprits, Yuka. It's a matter of time. That's what you're paying me for, after all. And if I have to be sincere with you, I wouldn't want to start my detective career with a failed case. You better not, because I won't hire you again otherwise. Because of which, what are you going to do next? Is Satomi's corporation's off the hook? I'll do some research around the city looking for any leads that could point me in the right direction. There's got to be something somewhere, and I'll find it. Pleased with my resolution, Yuka taps my shoulder with a grin on her face, clearly happy to have me working to solve this mystery. Thank you lots, Yuri. I bet you're doing God's work out there. If you need anything from me or my people, we'll be here, ready to cooperate, no matter if it's for this job or something else. You can see us as your second family or a bunch of very good friends. Your choice, really. I'll take that into account, Yuka. I appreciate it. She's not bad with this one, after all. You know what? Glad we could take it in as family. Yuka taps my shoulder one last time before she lets me go. Her crew waved me goodbye along with her. I'm glad they hold no grudge against me for the other night's fight. The idea of being banished from this part of the city wasn't exactly charming. Focused on taking Tu's investigation to the next level, I began to walk around Yuka's warehouse with eyes peeled, hoping to come across any kind of lead. There aren't many clues, sadly. Only the tire tracks their cars left when they escape in a hurry. Those guys were violent and quite methodical too. There's nothing here that I can use to reveal their identities and hand them over to Yuka. Somewhat frustrated to be after a bunch of farm ghosts, I heave a sigh as I take my research deeper into this neighborhood. Despite the ungodly hour when the attack happened, someone must have seen something and let it be a company logo or a plate number. Right now, any details would help, no matter how tiny it is. I nod to myself before I prefer the questions. I'll be asking anyone willing to cooperate. The realization I'm acting like a private eye managing to steal a chuckle from me. Bodyguard member of a specialized security team, and how detective of sorts. My resume is getting thicker with experience by the instant. Remember what the current and official job makes me fetch my phone from my pocket? Relentlessly afraid to have missed any message from Mr. Himura. Fortunately for me, it's not the case. My inbox is still empty. It seems that management is allowing me to enjoy the free time I earned. Glad to not have to deal with any pressing matters, I return my phone inside my pocket where I sense with a hand small item that doesn't belong there. What is this? A piece of paper? Someone slid it extremely skillfully because I didn't even notice, and I think it has a message written on it. Meet me at the hideout this evening around 6. I'll be waiting for you outside, but feel free to not come if you don't feel like it. However, you won't regret it. The improvised letters ends with the drawings of a cute bunny, making it more than obvious who wrote it. Yuka. I whisper her name as I fold the paper, tuck it away with my phone. My attention now draws to her secretive note. Judging by the tone, this feels like an invitation to something. I doubt I'll have anything to do with work because she would have told me openly otherwise. This is something personal, something that she wants to keep private. I can't help but chuckle at this. Last fact, a small smile crossed my face as I resume investigating the scene. How endearing it is to discover this side of Yuka. Ah, man. Well, it's time. Following the note of the sole instruction, I show that Yuka's hideout at 6 sharp. The street's not showing any kind of activity. Yuka isn't around either. Makes me wonder whether that message was a big tease or even a trap from the mysterious attackers. I snort scoffingly at my far-fetched theories, waiting patiently for Yuka to appear. It's an open secret that Yuka thinks highly of me. There's no way she'd break me like this. And as for attackers, it is as if they vanished into thin air. Not a single neighbor was able to pick up on anything remotely useful, which means I'm running out of leads to follow. There's got to be a detail I'm overlooking. Nobody's perfect enough to leave absolutely no tracks behind. Would you look at that? The Japanese Sherlock actually came. I was kind of concerned you preferred to keep sniffing around than meeting your friend. I'm not gonna lie, Yuka. I was tempting to. In this case, my first case is proving to be a nightmare. Might be complex enough for me to write a novel about it. Or a screenplay. Assault at the Rabbit's Warren. It's a provisional title, though I believe it's good enough to become a blockbuster. Yeah, kinda. As long as we don't use the word rabbit hole, we'll be fine. Well, it depends on the genre of the movie you want to produce, Yori. The Song of the Rabbit's Hole leaves no room for imagination. Unable to resist comically of our comments, I end up bursting into laughter. You could join me shortly after. This topic truly escalated quickly. Anyway, I'm happy you decided to meet me, Yori. I was generally worried you prefer work over me. Fortunately, both of us, I know when to stop. There's more to life than getting the job done. However, I must ask, why did you invite me so furtively, Yuka? Suddenly finding that paper next to my phone gave me a scare. As you can imagine, being the leader of a street gang has a huge list of cons. I barely have any free time, and we better not talk about the state of my private life. So yeah, when I want to get personal, I enjoy myself. I gotta fade away for several hours and become Yuka the regular girl. Congratulations on meeting her, by the way. You're the one of very few people that have had the pleasure. Yuka grins at me widely, not quite managing to conceal the sadness that her gaze conveyed. Being at the top comes with many sacrifices. Sacrifices that sooner or later make you wonder if what you're enduring is worth the pain. Alright then, are you ready to spend an evening with me, Yuri? Because your detective guts told that be the case. Yep, I assume as much. However, I had no idea what you had in mind. Nothing over the top, if that's what you're indirectly asking. Basically, I thought it'd be cool to walk around the neighborhood and chat about ourselves. We never got personal with each other. We've only talked about stuff related to work. Good point. It'll be interesting getting to know Yuka, the regular girl. You bet it will. She's still hot, funny, and freaking cool even without her powers. A coldish smirk crosses her face before she moves to my side, clasping my hand, and surely but tightly as she guides me to an unknown part of the neighborhood. She insisted a lot about not raising any topics that had to do with work, which allows me to ask questions that were unthinkable or rather awkward before. And there's a lot of questions here. And I wonder what I should actually pick from this one, but you know what? This is quite broad a question, though. I want to know if you have any hobbies or you're passionate about something in particular, Yuka. As I said, being the leader of a gang has allowed me to do much apart from kicking ass, which is fun, but something that I can't consider a hobby. Though whenever I'm lucky enough to have some free time like tonight, I love watching old movies and shows. Old movies and shows? How old are we talking about? Like at least 30 times my age, so from around the 90s, if not before. I'm opening my eyes wide surprised, disbelieving someone like Yuka would be into such dated entertainment. And how's that, Yuka? Do you prefer those over the current movies and shows? Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't even know what's popular nowadays. I guess that's because they don't pique my interest much. I mean, the best one you should watch is the Mario movie. You know, the Peaches song. That's the best one, the hit one for this. But anyways, they look so repetitive and over the top. The plot feels kind of forced. And the fact that there's so many of them coming out every week doesn't help to give them a shot. Also, spoilers would eventually come to my ears, and that pissed me off a ton. So for now, I'm just going to stick with the trustworthy VHS movies that Dad purchased from Grandma several years ago. I used to watch them with her when I was a kid. Funnily, I didn't understand them back then. Like that Western movie with 3 protagonists. I kept mistaking them throughout the whole movie. What a mess. Yuka shakes her head derisively before letting out a giggle. Her response is so very strange that I find myself with a confused smile on my face. VHS movies? Really? That's beyond outdated? But judging by her nostalgic tone, she's clearly more into experience than the content. Maybe so. About her grandmother. Know that your grandmother appears to be very important to you, Yuka. I wonder what she really thinks about that one. Could you tell me more about her? If I did, we could spend the whole night chatting about her, Yuri. There's a friggin' ton of hilarious stories that I'd make you split your sides. And another ton of emotional stories that make you bawl like a baby. She's like the best woman ever. I'm not saying this just because she raised me. She raised you? What about your mom and dad? Yeah, they were too busy working to recover all the money they lost thanks to that backstabbing snake. I'm not blaming them because they did what they had to, but Grandma was the one who raised me single-handedly, pretty much. Thankfully, my family situation is much better now, but my grandma's really old, and I can't spend much time with her thanks to my crew. Sometimes, I sometimes wish I was just a regular girl so I could enjoy her company while she's still around, you know. These powers came with a hidden price. Saddened by this reality, Yuka sighs loudly, her eyes misting with tears that are beginning to roll down her cheeks. However, Yuka prevents that from happening, but by brushing them with her hand, doing the impossible to smile at me as if nothing had happened. Maybe I shouldn't drag over bad memories, but I remember you told me about that your father signed a dishonest contract that you got evicted. Did I ask how that happened? Oh, wow. Now that's an awfully personal question. But yeah, I guess I could tell you that happened ages ago, so I'm over it. Though I don't remember all the details, to be honest, those times were tough for us. Mom was very sick and Dad quit his job to take care for us. Our savings were running low, and then those bank pen pushers noticed. One fine day, they sent a leaf to visit us personally. He offered us a deal too hard to pass. A decent sum of money that let Mom get the treatment she needed. Obviously, Dad signed in a heartbeat without reading the small print first. So we got the money, yeah, at the expense of our home. So it was a mortgage? It sure was. Though that boneheaded assured us that it was a regular loan. What a nerve that asshole had to exploit my family's suffering. Yuka clenches her fist with fury, probably wishing that she could have 5 minutes alone with an unprincipled man. Take into account what he did, he deserved it. Anyway, the bank kicked us out of the home and we landed at Grandma's. She wasn't tricked by those monumental morons, so she kept her house and we started living there. Oh well, Mom recovered and Dad managed to find a new job, so this story has a happy ending. Except for Grandma. You'll not believe how much it took her to adapt to our living style. Found her yelling at the robotic vacuum cleaner Mom and Dad bought her to thank her for her hospitality one day. She thought it was a spirit was powering it. What an old codger. You can snort upon sharing these memories with me. Brought me to chuckle softly as I picture the scene. I bet that if she had recorded that, it would have gone viral within seconds. It sure would have gone viral. But anyways, that is the end of today's video, everyone. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.